All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, I'm going to be talking about how one of the nominees for the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Music Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it, the arbitrary Music Hall of Fame, is really ticked off. And I would imagine if they were to win, they may not be attending. I'm also waiting to hear from Cher. All right, because Cher recently had some interesting words about the Hall of Fame. Anyway, here is a cool CD that I liked last year that I think I was the only one on the internet that cared about it. This is Bernie Chiarelli. It's an easy name to say. Actually, if I open this up, it's a little easier to see. This is a really cool album. If you're into singer-songwriter material and melodic music, Bernie, who has worked with Michael McDonald in the past, and I believe he has subbed for a Doobie Brother on one occasion at least. He doesn't really sound like the Doobie Brothers or Michael McDonald. He's got his own vibe, and it's a really cool vibe. So again, more on the adult contemporary side of things, but again, sometimes I don't want my ears to bleed when I listen to music, so here you go. Bernie C. We'll just call him Bernie C. Reminds me of in the Red Sox lineup in 1975, it was Bernie C., Bernie Carbo. Man, that was in my brain, and it hadn't come out for I don't know how many years, but yeah, I was a kid and going to Red Sox games in those days. And Bernie Carbo, man, he was great. And Dwight Evans and Carl Yastrzemski, and just what a killer baseball team. They didn't win it, but they did well, and they drove fans crazy. So speaking of driving people crazy, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who have definitely alienated a lot of people with their selections or lack thereof. Now, I'm going to make a point in this video about what the critics like versus what the people like. And then the critics will say, this band is just like the Beatles. Now, I know, said this about Oasis at one point, and they got nominated. So they are a critic's choice. They're probably a favorite of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so the main guy in the group, his name is Liam Gallagher. He responded with a one-line message to the news that Oasis had been shortlisted for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2024. And, I'm going to censor this a little bit. F the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's full of bumba clarts, the singer wrote on X, making clear his feelings on the matter. What's a bumbleclart? Well, it's apparently a Jamaican derogatory term that means toilet tissue. Okay, so I like Oasis now. I didn't really like them, but now I like them. They go on to say, Oasis was recently named alongside Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Cher, Dave Matthews Band, Eric B. and Rakim, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Jane's Addiction, Kool and the Gang, Lenny Kravitz, Sinead O'Connor, Ozzy Osbourne, Sade, and A Tribe Called Quest. There are a few good selections here. I'll even though I kind of bashed the Lenny Kravitz thing because the Guess Who aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, he's like the next generation. But does his body of work demand that he get in there? And I don't know that much about Oasis, but again, the critics love Oasis. So that's why they're on this list. And back in the 80s, I remember critics were saying that Squeeze, the band Squeeze, they were the next great thing. They were the Beatles in the 80s. They had Difford and Tilbrook, like McCartney and Lennon. They had these two great songwriters. By the way, Squeeze is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for some strange reason. I mean, they were the darling of the critics. I mean, they could do no wrong. And by the way, I like Squeeze. I'm not too big on Oasis, but I really like Squeeze. They helped me get through my college years, number one. And number two, they're a really good band. And they seem like a bunch of nice, funny, interesting guys. And maybe that's why they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. See, Oasis is darker. It's kind of dreary. It's a cloudy day, whereas Squeeze is mostly sunny and a high of 75. You know, if you're going to look at music like you look at the weather, Oasis is Seattle in the late winter time, and Squeeze is like the month of May. You know, it's just a different sound. And plus, there's a lot of talent in Squeeze. You also had Paul Carrick in there, and he's done a lot of great things, and he should be in the Hall of Fame by himself for all of the different things he's done. Mike and the Mechanics, and hanging out with Nick Lowe in his cowboy outfit for a while. Nick Lowe, there's another. I mean, you just hop one guy to the next. Nick Lowe should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Come on, man. Cruel to Be Kind, but not just that, but so much great music and a great songwriter. I know Nick Lowe loved Johnny Cash, which makes him even more cool. So yeah, getting back to the Squeeze thing though, Squeeze was the darling of critics, and I was a little frustrated with that when I first kept hearing about it. Like, no, these guys aren't the new Beatles. And technically, they never lived up to that. Nobody should be compared to the Beatles. All right. On most occasions, it's actually on about 99.99% of occasions. Maybe Jeff Lynne, ELO, you can compare to the Beatles a little bit. And there might be a couple of other bands, but none come to mind at this point. Don't compare things to the Beatles. All right. Oasis, not the Beatles. Nirvana, definitely not the Beatles. Okay. And yeah, Squeeze, closer, but still no Beatles. So, and I'm not saying that you have to love the Beatles, but the Beatles kind of set a pretty high bar, right? And so when the critics come along, they make a band into something maybe that exceeds expectations for people who are just listening on their own, you know, doing their own research, their own homework, things that you're not supposed to do, especially when it comes to your health, right? Don't do your own research. We've got it covered. Just sit back and we'll do the rest. We'll tell you how to make sure that you never get sick again. Yeah. Okay, sure. Anyway, at least you won't die. No, you won't die, except you might just die unexpectedly and suddenly, and nobody will know why. All right. So sorry, I had to swerve out of my lane there for a second. But I think it's kind of comical here that this guy in Oasis is giving the middle finger to the people over at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Again, the Hall of Fame and the industry really built this band up. And so you don't build up a band to typically tear them down, but you guys might want to put Squeeze in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Oasis. All right. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to nominate a band that you loved and didn't really elevate to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame status, then Squeeze should go in before Oasis. All right. And there are other bands that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should latch on to, other people. Warren Zevon, who got nominated last year. I mean, the critics used to love Warren Zevon. But he didn't get in last year, and he didn't get nominated again. And myself and David Letterman were both really ticked off about this. So it's really just bad news for great music. And there are so many others. I mean, again, that list of American bands that have just been omitted. America, come on, America is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, Dave, it's named after America. And these guys obviously don't like America. maybe they're confused. Maybe they think the country is being nominated or is trying to get into the Hall of Fame, which again, you know, would be a big mistake to put the entire USA into the Hall of Fame, as just a country and not a musical act. So I don't know. You shouldn't have named your band after this country. If they had named it Portugal or something, probably would have already been in. But I don't know, folks. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, here's the bottom line here. They've just, I don't know, that they have alienated people. There's no goodwill out there. It's like painstaking to watch this happen every year because there are so many bands that are like, huh? I mean, the reaction from people to me was, did you see the list? Oh my gosh, is that a bad list? Actually, I think last year was worse than this year. I think they actually nominated some rock. Now, will Peter Frampton get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't know. He should. Why not? Ozzy isn't in great health. So I hate to say it like this, but it would make sense to put Ozzy in there before he can't really celebrate because he won't be here anymore. And I don't have any inside track on knowing how long Ozzy has left, but it just doesn't seem good. I wish him well. I wish everybody well, you know? But the bottom line here, folks, is the Hall of Fame. It's not a good institution. Just, we need something new. We need a real rock and roll Hall of Fame, like real music. We need real rock. We don't need music that doesn't fit the description. You know what I'm saying? It's like you open up, you know, a quart of ice cream and you find like sardines in there. You're going to be like, what the heck happened here? I wanted ice cream. I didn't want sardines. And when you think of rock and roll, you don't think of Eric B. and Rakim. You don't. It's just, well, we're just trying to expand our horizons and to redefine what it means to have a rock and roll presence or influence or something where it's not rock and roll. Some people even debate some of this stuff. Is it even music? And I haven't gone that far, but you could easily make an argument. I'm sure smarter people on the internet have made the argument why certain things that are nominated may not qualify as actual music. But I'll leave that up to the music experts and the musicologists here. But good music, you can find it. It is out there. Here's Bernie C. again, and his album, More to This Life. Bernie Chiarelli, who has worked with Michael McDonald, who, of course, is a Doobie Brother. Right now, he's a Doobie Brother on tour with the Doobies, which I think is really cool. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everyone for continuing to watch this channel, for helping me out on Patreon, and for YouTube memberships. Someone is trying to explain to me, one of my patrons, about the notification bell. And apparently, there are different ways to get notifications on videos. I'm looking into that, but I'm a little confused about it. I thought if you just hit the bell, you would get notifications on new videos, but apparently it's not that simple. So if you're not getting notifications, and you know, there's reasons for that, maybe, that are a little on the nefarious side, then check out your notification status. All right. And if you want to support the channel, again, Patreon, YouTube memberships, there are links in the description of pretty much every video that I put out there. So it's fairly easy. And I want to thank everybody for sticking with this channel and for growing this channel. We are still growing. It's slow, but it's steady. All right. So I'm thankful for that. God bless everyone. God bless people in other countries who don't have the resources that we have here in the United States. We need to pray for those people. Also, pray for peace in the Middle East. Seriously, pray for peace, because peace is way better than war. All right. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers. He didn't say, blessed are the warmongers. So anyway, folks, talk to you soon.